Hi everyone, my name is Lavneesh, and today I welcome you on the discussion on cracking down on smuggling and its profound impact on economies and societies worldwide. As India has continued to face persistent challenge from smugglers, the nation grapples with the far-reaching consequences of illicit activities, ranging from financial losses to amplified health hazards for consumers and erosion of crucial government revenues. In a bid to spearhead an international campaign against smuggling, FICCI Cascade took a significant step in 2022 by launching Anti-Smuggling Day on 11th February. This day serves as a platform to raise awareness and promote multinational cooperation in addressing the root cause and the consequences of smuggling. Today, we'll delve into the intricate world of smuggling, exploring its impact on various sectors, the challenges faced by law enforcement, and the strategies employed to combat this illicit activity. But before we proceed, let's shed some light on FICCI Cascade, established on January 18, 2011. Cascade is a dedicated initiative by Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry at the forefront of combating illicit trade practices that undermines the Indian economy. Now we'll introduce our esteemed guest. Today we have Mr. Deep Chand, a retired IPS officer with over 30 years of services, held key positions in Delhi Police, including Special Commissioner. He has extensive experience in law enforcement, anti-terrorism and training. Decorated with awards like President's Police Medal for gallantry and for distinguished services, he also founded Pragati, an NGO focused on education for the underprivileged people. Since July 11, he has served as a consultant/advisor for FICCI Cascade. Hi, Mr. Deep.
Hi,
Hi.
good evening.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Sir, from drawing from your experience, could you provide an overview of the current global landscape of smuggling, highlighting the key sectors and or industry most affected by illicit activity?
Uh, Thank you very much for inviting me on this Twitter. Good evening to all the listeners. The global landscape of smuggling, it extends beyond drugs and gold. This includes wildlife, contraband goods such as tobacco, cigarettes, alcohol, and other counterfeit products. Various agencies, including FICCI Cascade, have been highlighting the significant economic and social ramifications of such illicit activities. For instance, smuggling of tobacco and alcohol leads to substantial revenue loss to governments and poses risk to public health. In case studies by Europol, it further illustrated the sophisticated methods being employed by smugglers, emphasizing the need for coordinated efforts from law enforcement agencies and international stakeholders. Globally, it is required to act in coordination if we really want to have an impact on smuggling. To curb such activities, it requires enhanced border controls, intelligence sharing mechanism among various enforcement agencies, including in case of our country, BSF, Assam Rifles, and ITBP, Gujarat Police, some state polices which are directly on the coast. So a coordination is very, very necessary. And robust enforcement measures are required to safeguard public health, consumer safety, and to also check revenue loss to the states, as well as the market integrity worldwide. See, the revenue loss is one very important aspect of the smuggling. If the smuggling continues, it results into a heavy loss of taxes to the government, and if the government doesn't have the enough revenue, then its expenditure on education and health, roads, etc., will not be adequate, and the people, the population will not be able to enjoy the fruits of the development.
All right, all right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, sir. Sir, since you're talking about uh, the recent data you've encountered, can you discuss a frequency of smuggling incident that you came across in your life, if possible?
Well, frequency depends. Frequency of smuggling, it depends on market demand, regulatory measures, and law enforcement efforts. You must be reading every now and day, uh, every now and then there are reports about the DRI seizing handsome amounts of gold and also drugs. Record recoveries have been made by the TRI about the drugs from various ports, and this indicates that there is a heavy demand for this. So, if there is a demand in the market, the smuggling will also increase. So, as I mentioned, smuggling depends on the market demand. Then regulatory measures and law enforcement efforts. If the regulatory measures are strong, the frequency will decrease. If the law enforcement efforts are effective, then the frequency will increase. Recent seizures reports from the DRI and Indian Custom Department show a significant increase in efforts by these central agencies to disrupt illegal trade. Local police, especially in the coastal states, as I mentioned about Gujarat, Maharashtra, we have a very long coastal line. At the same time, we have a land border on the northeast side, which is porous. These coastal lines in the Maharashtra and Gujarat side, and also this porous border on the northeastern side of the country, these provide a good passage to the smugglers, and the enforcement agencies have to be very, very smart, very, very active, and conduct a lot of operations, especially the illicit consignments like gold, narcotics, and other counterfeit products, including smuggled electronics, as I was mentioning. These are very frequently seized by the agencies.
And sir, do you think that technology has helped maybe in the landscape of smuggling for the government to tackle these issues? Like, what do you think about the advance in technology with regard to smuggling?
See, technology acts both ways. On one side, it helps the smugglers to conduct their operations. And in various sectors, we find that the technology is being used, while digital platforms and encryption technology have streamlined illicit transactions. They have also enabled authorities at the same time to gather intelligence and disrupt criminal networks. As I mentioned, it acts both ways. Who is smarter? If the smugglers have upper hand in the technology, they will be winning, and if the enforcement agencies, they are better in their technology and they are up to date, then certainly they will have a win over the smugglers. Now, for example, reports from organizations like International Chamber of Commerce, ICC, it highlights the role of digital tools in combating smuggling, including blockchain technology for product authentication and supply chain transparency. However, challenges persist in keeping pace with evolving smuggling methods, such as the use of 3D printing technology and the exploitation of online marketplaces to evade detection. One operation Pangea, targeting online pharmaceutical smuggling, demonstrates the importance of collaboration between law enforcement agencies and technology companies in combating digital smuggling activities. The Operation Pangea has been conducted to coordinate efforts of different states, different countries, and also the technology companies. They all combined their efforts and their knowledge to check the pharmaceutical smuggling online. Similarly, we earlier had a similar Pangaea case where several countries around the globe, they combined their efforts to unearth a large number of children toys which were made of product which are made of the items which are not good for the health of the children, and lakhs and lakhs of rupees of such toys were recovered. So this Operation Pangaea and similar operation, they they are conducted, coordinating the efforts of both the enforcement agencies and the governments, and also the technology companies who can help these enforcement agencies to unearth such rackets.
Yeah, indeed, sir. Indeed, I think technology has played a crucial role in impacting the good people and the bad people all together in a nation. So yeah, okay, sir. So from your perspective, what are the macroeconomic implication of smuggling on national economies, tax revenues, and legitimate business, and how significant are these impacts according to you, sir?
See, talking of the macroeconomic implications of smuggling on national economy, it extends beyond drugs and wildlife, and this affects sectors such as manufacturing and trade as well. Now, this smuggling undermines market integrity and also the competitiveness. It distorts supply chains, eroding consumer confidence. Now, reports have been prepared by various organizations in this area, acting in this area, like this OECD. It highlights the economic costs of counterfeiting and smuggling, including lost tax revenues, job losses, and reduced investment in innovation. See, I was mentioning just now that if the states lose their valuable tax revenue, they won't have enough revenue with them to undertake the projects for education, for health, for roads, and other welfare measures. And the lower income group or the middle income group, especially, depend on the government institutions providing these services. The FICCI Cascade has also conducted some studies like this, and it has found that um, the impact of smuggling has been impacting the employment. In 2018-19, FICCI conducted a study in 5 industries, 5 sectors. And in 5 sectors, the impact of smuggling was really very interesting to note that 16 lakhs jobs were lost only in these 5 sectors in the year 2018-19 because of the smuggling of items being manufactured by these companies actually. So these 16 lakh job is a loss per a year in 5 sectors only. Think of all the sectors if we calculate the loss which is being caused by this smuggling overall. This will run into crores of jobs which we are losing, and that too in the face of rising unemployment in our country. So then case studies from regions other outside India, they have also been very interesting. Case studies from Southeast Asia underscore the economic toll of counterfeit goods smuggling on legitimate businesses and government revenues, necessitating comprehensive strategies to address the root causes of illicit trade. So we can say that the uh, talking of macroeconomic implications of smuggling, these are really very serious for the for various nations, especially the nations which are um, still not in the category of developed nations, the underdeveloped nations or the developing nations. This is having very serious impact, and it's important that smuggling menace is curbed.
Yes, yes, sir, definitely. 16 lakh jobs is definitely a huge number. And since India having such effective taxation policy, I also wanted to understand that how, like, what are the strategies or the measures do government typically employ to address smuggling, like while also ensuring the effective taxation policy in India?
See, these strategies that are adopted by the countries is that first of all, it is enhancing border controls, implementing stricter regulations, and promoting public awareness campaigns. Now, to control smuggling, government employs a range of strategies, while at the same time they have to ensure effective taxation policies and trade facilitation. These we talk of tax arbitrage. If the tax policies are not made keeping in view the demand of smuggled goods, then certainly the tax will be high, and the higher the tax, the more will be the smuggling, more will be the demand. Now, I give you an example. In our own countries, we have different states. If sometime, if you recollect, petrol is sometime costing two to 4 rupees more in one state, and in the neighboring state it is less. So, because of the local taxes by the state governments, now people immediately start purchasing from the from the state where the rate is low, and they bring it in the state where the rate is high. This is also a smuggling, because this is against the norms. They are not People are not supposed to bring any goods without paying proper um, tax and other regulations. So similarly, in case of various countries, if some country is putting lot of taxes, naturally people want those goods, and they will certainly demand these goods, and these smugglers will be finding it a very lucrative market for them to bring such things. Now, international organizations like the World Customs Organization, they have highlighted the importance of risk-based approaches to custom enforcement, targeting high-risk shipments and smuggling routes. Similarly, OECD Task Force on Countering Illicit Trade facilitates formation sharing, information sharing, and capacity building among countries to combat smuggling activities. However, challenges remain a striking balance between security imperatives and trade facilitation objectives, particularly in regions with porous borders and weak governance structures. Now, we, if we see, so much of import is there for each nation. For example, in all our ports, the volume of import is so high. If we think that we can check each and every container, it is not possible. So we have to decide that the work is also not disrupted, import is not disrupted. At the same time, the the consignments are properly checked. Now, for this, it is necessary that the intelligence has to be developed. The intelligence apparatus has to be very smart, so that only we check up, the enforcement agency check up only limited number of consignments which are having some intelligence input that there can be something wrong, so that the overall trade is not disrupted and the imports are not disrupted. So, especially in the similarly in porous borders, the government has to encourage trade between the communities which are on the both sides of the border. Both the countries have to, but at the same time, we have to make sure that these porous borders are these checkposts which are made, like we have at several places between Bangladesh and India. and also sometime we had between China and India, that the porous border is there and the people of the area, they do the trade. Similarly, on the Myanmar border, this is a very challenging task, and we have to perform this task with great care and developing intelligence to ensure that the smugglers do not misuse this facility.
Yes, sir, definitely. I was just reading to the next question and realized that the answer which you have given right now is almost covered it. And also, I got to know also about the Operation Penchia, that it was a global campaign. So, skipping this question, I'll just jump to the another question. Okay, so from a law and enforcement standpoint, how does smuggling contribute to border issues such as organized crime, terrorism, financing, and other illicit activities?
See, smuggling is one very important source of funding of organized crimes. The organized crimes can be uh, human trafficking, it can be terrorism also. See, various investigations agencies all over the globe, while conducting investigation in terrorist crimes, uh, they have found that the terrorist operations have been funded, if not completely, then at least a major portion of the funding has come from the smuggling. We take the case of this riots which took place in Paris, say where about 315 persons died. This The riots were erupted after publishing of an image of the Hazrat Muhammad Thaq. So the investigation into the riots uh, led to the conclusion that most of the finances were made available by smuggling of apparels from other European nations. So similarly, we have seen that smuggling has been a very important source of funding. Take the case of IRA, Irish Republic Army, the smuggling of cigarettes and other cosmetics was a main source of funding of the Irish, this IRA people. Also, in other places, we have found that the terrorism is funded by such, um, and even in Africa, in some African terrorist organization, terrorist operations, it has been found that the funding is from the terrorists. Similarly, funding is from the smuggling, because smuggling as main source is also a source for arranging weapons to be used in such terror acts. Similarly, smuggling in narcotics is the biggest act of destruction of any society. If you want to destroy any society, you introduce drugs to the younger generation, and the society will automatically be destroyed. Nation will also already will become weak. So smuggling is a very important source of funding of the unlawful activities, illicit businesses of this organized crime, terrorism financing, and such other illicit activities.
Yes, sir. Sir, when I was doing my research on anti-smuggling, I came across this campaign called Buy Genuine, and it has been shown promoting consumer awareness. So, being a youth of the country, I also wanted to understand that how come education plays a role in reducing the demand for smuggled good. I mean, have you observed any effective strategies in this area?
See, educating the citizens on the negative impact of smuggled goods on the individuals as well as society and the nation cannot be overstated. especially the student and the youth, the impressionable mind. It need to be made aware of the fact how the smuggling is against their personal interest as well as harmful for the nation. It deprives the nation of its lawful tax, as I mentioned earlier, it resulting in less revenue with the state to provide health, education, roads, and other activities for the common good and welfare. At times, the smuggled goods are counterfeits and are hazardous for the health and safety of the people. The smuggling is also responsible for taking away jobs. As I mentioned earlier, that 16 lakh jobs were lost in just 5 sectors. A study indicated that this study was conducted by FICCI Cascade. One can imagine thereby the total quantum of loss in jobs across the entire industries in the country. To galvanize this point, you see, government of India is doing this awareness program for the last many years. And under the Consumer Affairs Ministry, there is a program called Jago Grahak Jago. This has been doing excellent work in creating awareness. And one important advice of the Jago Grahak Jago is that whenever you purchase any item, you must demand a receipt. If you demand a receipt from the seller, there is 90% chance that you will not get something which is illicit. So, the awareness, similarly, FICCI Cascade has been organizing several awareness programs. They organize programs not only in Delhi but also all over the country. They organize programs in various universities, colleges. The students are given awareness programs, and then they are asked to make paintings and conduct speeches so that they get a awareness of how this smuggling and counterfeiting is affecting the health and safety of the individuals, and how they should protect themselves and also say no to these smuggled items in the larger interest of the society. FICCI Cascade has organized several programs. I think hundreds of programs have been organized in the past 11 years. And school children are invited to participate in the debates, and they make paintings. Recently, they conducted a digital painting program, and the awards are given to them. Then cyclothon is organized. So various efforts are being made by FICCI Cascade all over the country to with the students and youth, thinking that this is their impressionable age, and also they are in they get freedom, financial freedom, because they get to have some money with them, how to spend that money.
Yes, sir, definitely. FICCI Cascade has dedicated February 11th as Anti-Smuggling Day, and the kind of things you have told here is actually like letting the everyone knows that FICCI Cascade is making an impact, as it serves as a platform for advocacy, collaboration, and mobilization of resources towards effective informants and prevention measures. Okay, so sir, looking forward, what policy recommendation or changes do you believe are necessary to enhance global efforts in combating smuggling effectively?
See, I spoke about the tax arbitrage, and I also spoke of the enforcement. In fact, these are the two important policy requirements. In case of high tax, if, as I mentioned, if the high tax on goods incentivizes smuggling, more the tax, greater the incentive to smuggle. If countries globally rationalize, if the countries globally rationalize the tax, it will disincentivize the smuggling. Smuggling on such goods that do not attract more profit will automatically be reduced. Secondly, the enforcement at the borders has to be improved by providing the best available equipment to our enforcement agencies. We have to keep in mind that India has a long border, both coastal as well as land border. Further, a large part of the land border towards north and northeast is porous, which is difficult to manage with the existing size of the enforcement agencies. They have a Herculean task to prevent smuggling. Only by supporting these agencies by providing them best possible equipment can we expect better results.
Okay. Thank you so much, sir, for answering the questions and making us aware about like smuggling and how can we prevent it with regard to FICCI Cascade. So, since it was the last question, sir, I think we are also lacking time here. Okay, so
Please.
I would like to invite people. If somebody has any question, please request. I'll accept it. You can ask. We'll only allow one person this time because we're already late, so yeah, please.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. I think Vishant, we have Vishant as a speaker here. Hi, Vishant. Now, Vishant, you have to unmute your mic actually. Yeah.
हेलो आवाज आ रही है मेरी
जी
Yes,
आ रही है
Vishant,
बिल्कुल
we can hear you.
नमस्ते सर मैं सर हिमाचल से हूँ सर मैं शिमला से हूँ
जी
और हाल ही में सर क्या हुआ कि यहाँ पर सर एक गोल्ड की मतलब स्मगलिंग कोई पकड़ा गया एक ज्वेलर ही था पर उसको क्या करा कि जैसे इवनिंग में शाम के समय में वो पकड़ा गया पर जैसे कि उसके पास 10 या 15 लाख रुपए का उसके पास सोना स्मगल्ड था पकड़ा गया पर वो क्या हुआ कि सर उसने कुछ एक मान लीजिए 3 या 4 लाख रुपए का मतलब दे करके वो छूट गया फिर भी तो सर क्या कोई ऐसे सर लॉ कोई पॉलिसी सर बन पाएगी कभी मतलब इसके लिए ताकि ये ना हो ऐसा
आपने बड़ा लंबा बड़ा इम्पोर्टेंट और मुश्किल सवाल किया है। ये सवाल है नेशनल कैरेक्टर का। अब कोई आदमी पकड़ा जाए और पैसे दे के छूट जाए, ये तो काका हाथरसी की कविता वाली बात है। अब ये तो नेशनल कैरेक्टर की बात है। अब वो क्यों छूट गया, कैसे छूट गया, उसकी डिटेल्स जब तक नहीं हो कहना मुश्किल है कि वो क्यों छूटा। क्यों ऐसी कोई पॉलिसी नहीं है कि कोई आदमी स्मगलिंग के लिए पकड़ा जाए और पैसे दे के छूट जाए। ऐसा कोई वो नहीं है कि जुर्माना हो जाए हाथ के हाथ।
Yeah, I think it's the person's fault. Like we can't blame the government or the policymakers here, Vishant. Yeah. Thank you so much, Vishant. Veer, do you have any question? Hello, Veer, can you hear me?
Hello.
Yes, yes, please speak
So,
on.
sir, I have a question. We are making plans to crack down this smuggling, but do we have any plans to crack down the market like चोर बाजार क्योंकि सर सबसे ज्यादा कंट्रीब्यूशन उससे आ रहा है स्मगलिंग का आई गेस
चोर बाजार और इस तरह की जो ये जो मार्केट्स हैं हिंदुस्तान में कई जगह पर हैं,
यस सर
उन पर समय समय पर रेड्स करते हैं और उसमें जो लोगों के खिलाफ कार्रवाई होती है, कस्टम डिपार्टमेंट भी करते हैं, पुलिस डिपार्टमेंट भी करते हैं। ये होता रहता है समय समय पर, लेकिन मार्केट्स इतनी ज़्यादा हैं और द कस्टम अथॉरिटीज एंड the such agencies, enforcement agencies, they concentrate more on the borders. They try to stop things coming into the nation. लेकिन हाँ, यहाँ पर भी ऑपरेशंस होते रहते हैं स्टेट्स पर।
ओके सर ओके थैंक यू सर
All right. Thank you. As we conclude today's discussion, it's evident that cracking down on smuggling is a complex yet imperative task that requires collaborative efforts at local, national, and international levels. We extend our gratitude to our esteemed guest, Mr. Deep Chand, for sharing his insights and expertise on this crucial and critical issue. We encourage our listeners to stay informed and engaged in the fight against smuggling, whether through supporting initiatives like Anti-Smuggling Day or advocating for stronger enforcement measures. Together, we can work towards a future where illicit trade no longer undermines economies and societies. Thank you for tuning in to FICCI Cascade podcast. Stay tuned for more enlightening discussion on pressing issues on impacting our world. Goodbye for now. And to the listeners, this is Lavnish looking forward to seeing you on the next episode. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lavnish.